Greetings, School of Tomorrow. So, as you know, we're kind of like a high school, but we work with people who are remote from each other a lot of the time, and so we're interested in the skills that it takes to work together, even though we're spread apart sometimes. And we may be spread apart in time more than space. That could happen too. So, for example, um, here I am doing this in early December 2020. But when are you listening? It might be a completely different time. Now, what I'm going to do all of a sudden in this video is switch to me wearing a different hat. Earlier this morning, when I'm starting my daily work, this time I'm with Portland Energy Strategies, and we're trying to make VS Code work. And it did eventually, but only when I switched to my Windows tablet, which now that it's nighttime and it's quite a bit later, I'm listening to Radio Garden, kind of to unwind. We've got some Irish radio, and he's doing philosophy. Let's see if he's still talking about Kant and Hegel. This is a great application.
In this episode, Ruth Carr remembers Dorothy Wordsworth, who was born in England in 1771 and died in 1855.
Nope, it's over. Very intellectual station, this radio MOLI. I promised I'd be featuring edgy, cool campus radio stations, and there's one of them in Dublin. I didn't really give much of a, let's see, radio M, capital M, little O, LI. I'll check into it more. We should all look for edgy radio. Leave some comments if you want. I asked Alan in Singapore what he thought of were his radio stations, favorite radio stations. Here in Oregon and Portland especially, I recommend KBOO is a good one sometimes. It's just the diversity of viewpoints and the diversity of music. Sometimes you need to broaden your mind, right? So this is GitHub School of Tomorrow. If you're not familiar, 4D Solutions slash School of Tomorrow, and we actually talk about Occupy. And when I was involved with that movement in 2009, you can see this. These are pictures of downtown and the people massing. And we did decide the riot police were there, and they were ready for if we got violent, but we weren't. We were very nonviolent, and we managed to just make the park our base, right? It happened really quickly. There's Leela ready to, at the time, Lindsay ready to take command. She's got all her gear. And Melody, okay, this is the Food Not Bombs group, Trey Arrow. And what we did now, this statue maybe symbolizes colonialism or something. Not everybody uh, looks fondly on exactly this statue, but it is the Pioneer family. I think maybe they're like Bible thumpers of some kind, but that's okay. There are lots of people in this world of diverse ethnic background. And so, pretty soon, we had a tent set up, but I had to go somewhere, so I left the scene. This is chronological, following a tall bike, very Portland, and ended up going to IKEA. My daughter needed some, or maybe it was me who needed something, but I know Tara came with me, so I think it had to do with her. Anyway, Pee Wee's at IKEA, it says. Yeah, it does look like Pee Wee's Great Adventure. So that was a peaceful protest. We weren't demonizing the police in that scenario, and actually had some good discussions. And we left on our own terms. And I still think of Occupy as making the point that we do have an alternative history to tell with Smedley Butler's War is a Racket and the business plot, taking our cues from there and talking about how the business plot was ultimately successful. And during the apex of American power, I'd say, when it was strong enough to even reach detente with the Soviet Union, it takes a strong sense of confidence to get to that. and we had it under Reagan because he was also exposing the deep state, right? We were seeing the dark underbelly rather clearly at that point, how crazy it was, right? And so then after that, the crazy side kind of took over, and Smedley Butler's business plot was successful. So I don't blame the United States for the debacle since then. It's more of a faux United States, a hollow, fake United States, and because of the literature that we follow, so you understand why I say in Facebook I'm always saying USA 1776 to 1983. That's just something I do. So, and then you can check why at grunch.net, right? HTTP, not HTTPS. All right, now I'm going to go to me wearing that hat. Oh, did I show you how? When I was involved in Occupy, I wore this hat. Let's see, where can I find it? It went on for months, right? Many weeks, this operation in 2009. See, here's Lindsay and one of the police guys. We're not like fighting because the police aren't part of the 1%, they're part of the 99%, and so forth and so on. So it was a whole different scene than we've had recently with the COVID and the different kind of rioting we've had here. And not to say that racism wasn't an issue even then. It was, of course. People believing in race and people understanding that life isn't fair and stuff. There. See, that's me in my kitchen with some pumpkin pies. Oops. Explaining stuff, which I'm still doing. Explaining stuff. All right, so good segue. Now we go to me this morning working with Patrick. Talk to you in a second.